What's going on, everybody? You guys are stuck in HitStun. This is a bi-weekly Smash talk show where we discuss Smash, analysis, gaming, and culture as well, man. Of course, I'm Rod the Dutch, and these two guys sitting next to me is New Age's very own Censor and HL's very own Lincoln. How we doing, guys?
Doing pretty good, man.
Doing great. Traveled all the way to come here. I'm really excited to kick this show off. So.
Traveled all the way? That was 45 minutes, man. Come on, man.
Man, I'm telling you, that hour is brutal.
Hey, I hear you, man. I used to have to drive to Lincoln for like a few agendas and objectives as well. But anyway, that's a story for a different day, man. Let's go ahead and jump right into the topic. So, man, I went to DreamHack Austin at the end of last month. It was a fantastic event. That was actually my first like hybrid convention experience. And I also got to mesh and mingle with a lot of like top names as well, like TK and EE and Gimmer and all those guys. And I actually got a chance to meet Jabali as well too. Jabali, I know like people kind of paint him to be a bad guy or like arrogant on Twitter, but he's actually not that at all. Like he's actually one of like the sweetest dudes I've ever met in my life. But anyway, doing that tournament, there wasn't a lot of commentators. People weren't really sure what to think about DreamHack. This is Smash 4's first time on a stage, kind of that big. And with that being said, since the bracket was so small, they didn't really pick a lot of commentators. So it was just me and Austin, J Varg and Neptune, and TK and EE. So Austin and I got a chance to do a lot of matches, but the one that kind of stuck out the most was the Captain Zack versus MVD set.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah. There was a lot of talk on Twitter. I mean, I was catching in periodically, but as soon as I opened Twitter, boy, people had words.
Oh, yeah. And they had a lot of words, and a lot of them weren't good ones. I think I'll be the first one to say I don't think that there needs to be a ledge grab limit or anything of the such. I think that's silly. I don't know if you guys feel any different, but I think that's silly.
I think it's totally silly because always think of it, people look at locals as, let's use the rule set that we would use at a major. Is there going to be a TO at every weekly setup that is going to count the ledge grabs? Yeah. I'm thinking like that umpire counter when they had the ball strikes thing. He's like clicking this thing when he's on the ledge.
Oh, yeah.
Like, come on. And people all wanted to counter with, well, just pick a different character because, you're Wii Fit. They're going to just body in that matchup against Bayonetta. Absolutely. Like, excuse me, is Bayonetta going to stop, just attacking Wii Fit Trainer and just plank the whole time? No. So that doesn't work. So just certain matchups, unfortunately, you just got to get around it.
Just have to, man.
I think when that happened, it was just an instant reaction of people upset. Get rid of this.
Yeah.
But before you even consider bans, you have to give a strategy time. You got to give people time to try to counteract that strategy of planking. So it was very, what do you want to say? Very early. They should have waited before.
It was very preemptive. Where they wanted to kind of throw that rule out. And I think. I'll be honest, Bayonetta kind of gets the crap into the stick. Any moment that anybody can figure out a way to crap on not only her, but just something in Smash 4 that a person feels unfair, whether that be a character or a stage or a rule. I mean, they're going for it, just fresh out the gate. I think another reason why people were kind of upset with that is I think there's a bit of brawl, like PTSD.
Ooh, yes.
Because
thinking of Meta Knight.
Yeah, and if you watch Zero's analysis video on Bayonetta, he told us that Salem does that to him from time to time. And I don't know how many people watch it. I mean, it's Zero. I'm sure at least over 5K. But the fact of the matter is, he said Salem did it. That was just the whole world's first time seeing it live in action in tournament and seeing how optimal it was. There are ways to punish it. There are ways to get around it. Now, whether it's appealing to the viewers, that's a whole different story. But there are ways, to get around the planking, and I think it's just a part of the game. It's obviously nowhere close to how Meta Knight was in Brawl, but it is difficult to deal with.
Let's say if Jigglypuff had the ability to plank, would we be talking about banning planking or a ledge grab limit?
Absolutely not.
Only because it's Bayonetta.
Only because
I mean, look at Melee. That thing is just ledge camping sometimes when people are trying to recover. I mean, that's when you know when you're playing a casual. Mm-hmm. It's like, hey, let me get back on stage. That's when you know that guy's a casual.
Come on.
But I like to compare this whole planking thing to the Sheik Game & Watch doubles thing that happened. Everyone was okay with it because they're like, all right, let's try to adapt to it. Let's work around it. And then after, I don't know, maybe a couple months, when it was first discovered, technically it could have happened when the game came out.
Right.
But it was really after some results started to show, and they're like, okay, this team's actually causing a problem.
And who knows how many Bayos did that before, Captain Zack was let me do it at DreamHack. Who knows how many Bayos did it, and everybody was just kind of okay with it because we didn't really know Bayo at the time. But Zero also touched on that in his video as well. He said, you know what? not a lot of players were being carried by like Bayo Jank, but Bayo was obviously silly fresh out the gate. She could do some things and kill you relatively early, which is fine. But it wasn't until that they hit her with the Nerf hammer and then they took away some of that silliness, people really started to work around that and started to find new ways to capitalize with Bayonetta. And with that being said, we ended up seeing a lot of like new combos because obviously she couldn't like quarter circle afterburner kick into itself anymore, but now she can like plank and do weird stuff like that on the ledge. So there's just a lot of there's a lot of like key differences between old Bayo and new Bayo, but one thing's for sure, she's good.
Well, and there's no it's not easy, so I'm not going to say like just do this. It's the easiest thing to do, but you don't have ledge invincibility when you regrab it, so just shield it, just wait, and then Diddy down tilt. That's going to catch.
Yeah. I don't exactly know what all trades with which twist. I know that's a really big hitbox. I know it goes through like the ledge of the stage depending on where you're at.
Right.
I know like some Marths will try to go up to it and counter, or maybe even like tip her down tilted to kind of knock her away. But I mean, even that's all about like precision
I just stay away from which
sometimes you gotta let her do it.
It doesn't make any sense. I need to do something with. When you talk about Bayonetta and all the things, you talk about witch time and all these other things. I really think, please just touch witch twist. Like that is the only thing that I'd be like, all right, like
not witch time.
No matter, well,
come on, man. Hit him with the witch time right now.
I don't think you can do anything unless you are actually changing what the move does itself.
Yeah, like a redesign.
I would say
you're
redesign of the move.
You're right. Okay,
would really be the only thing that's like, okay, yeah, we're gonna do that. But like, I don't think you can nerf witch time to where it's not gonna be stupid.
And I think ledge grab limits would just be kind of counterproductive because this is a game where you can grab the ledge as many times as you want. So then to put a limit on it would like put in this weird paradox anyway. So yeah.
To me, it's like saying, okay, we're going to play Street Fighter or whatever, but after 30 seconds, you can't block anymore. Like, you got to start attacking instead of holding the block button. Like, I feel like you're changing the fundamentals of the game at that point.
Yeah, in an old Street Fighter, because now you can't be chipped out in 5.
Yeah.
So it'd be
That's
like,
true.
well, now you can't block, but if I you know what I'm saying? Like, it's weird. I know what you're talking about, though. I definitely feel where you're coming from. But, yeah, all in all, I definitely feel like, you should be able to grab the ledge as many times as you want. It's Bayonetta. You just got to find a way to adapt and move around it.
Last point I kind of want to throw on that is, let's look at results since then. Bayo hasn't been dominating the scene with this planking thing. So, I think it was overreaction.
Yeah. And I guess that's another topic to touch on as well. How, the tier listing in terms of, like, who's top 5. I mean, if I'm throwing top 5 out right out the gate, it's like Bayo, Diddy. I don't know who's won. Because there's just so many things you could factor, obviously like results or sets, whatever it is. Obviously, Diddy has the better, tournament results than a Bayonetta would have. And Captain Zach and Salem have been doing a fantastic job.
True.
Salem started to, show himself at like Little Big House and Big House 6. And then Captain Zach, of course, fantastic performance at Genesis, solid performance as well at Civil War, and so on and so forth. But no matter what, Diddy's still dominant. Bayo's right up there as well. And then, of course, we still have Sheik. She's still very consistent. Mr. R and Void are doing their thing. And, of course, we got Rosalina and Luma and Ryu and just so many other very strong characters. It's really hard to throw around who's the best.
Who's actually top 5?
Yeah.
This isn't a game where you have 8 characters and they're all balanced and it's an equal playing field. You've got over 50 characters. There's going to be some that separate themselves from the others, but as far as those top 5, arguably top 10, it's you can intermingle who's going to be up there. And a lot of characters that people debate, probably the heaviest of who's top 5 is, I think, Mario. People debate, is Mario a top 5 character? And there's a lot of people like you, Alex, that are saying no, not top 5.
He's not top 5.
Look at results though.
True, I'll give you that. But then I give you that.
I know.
Okay,
I
no,
don't think he's. For the record, I don't think he's top 5.
So. On results, take 0 away, and then look at Diddy's results. Is Diddy that good? Or
it's still
is
up there.
0 that good?
I argue 0 is that good.
I mean, we all know that that Diddy is a really good character. Obviously, top 3 character in the game.
Free.
Probably top 2.
Free.
But let's say if 0 was going Lucina at all these tournaments where, he's been going through a mission and using Lucina.
Right.
If, he kept with those results that he was getting with Diddy, would we say, man, Lucina might be a top 5 character, or is 0 just that much better than
It's actually funny that you bring that up because Ally tweeted something about that maybe a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years. I don't know. Smash 4 was out though. He was like, "Man, Mario's not that good. I could do this with Martha." You guys would say the same exact thing, and then it was crazy. It's like he kind of spelled his own death note because then a year later, Mario struggling at the high level Marth matchup because of Marth's good normals. But yeah, I see where you're coming from though. I see where you're coming from. Definitely. And moving along. So, that was, the whole ledge grab segment. I'm glad I got you guys' insight on that because I felt the type of way. Twitter felt the type of way. But at the end of the day, people got to grab that ledge, man. Yeah. Like that's what's going to happen. Combo Breaker 2017 predictions. Combo Breaker was one of the first like hybrid FGC events to pick up Smash 4. 2015 was a very, very good one. 2016 was a really good one as well. I didn't quite have the numbers that 15 had, but still a very solid event. And now Combo Breaker 2017 has about 148 entrants. I'm not exactly sure where it ranks amongst the PGR. I know Swar is going to kill me for this later watching, but I'm not exactly sure where it ranks. But there are some people from the PGR there. Of course, Ned is there. Zanotto's going as well. ESAM and MVD, I know they went last year. I don't know if they went in 2015, but they make it a thing to go. They didn't go to MomoCon this year. What are you guys' predictions for that?
Boy, this one's going to be a tough one because, as you said, it hasn't hit 150 yet. Grand registration's not closed. I don't know how many upsets we'll see.
I think registration might have closed.
Did it close? Okay.
I think it might have closed.
Yeah, registration closed, I believe, on it was last week.
It's recent.
Because I know the pools just came up, like a rough draft.
Were just released. There will be registration the night of and the morning of.
But no emergency seating, though. So got to play 0 round 1. No, I'm joking.
I would like to see, I'm not predicting this, but I'd like to see Ned make top 8.
Okay.
I would like for him to, from the Chicago area.
Absolutely.
I would like to see him with that home crown advantage. That to be his breakout. Mm-hmm. To get some, whether he takes a lot of names or not, like with 150 players, you're going to have a solid 150 players. So I would like to see how far he makes it.
Okay. Last year, I was there for Combo Breaker last year. Did commentary, played in it. Combo Breaker. Okay, what do you remember about last year's Combo Breaker? What's the one thing that stuck out?
They didn't update the setups. They ran the
I was going to say you commentated. That's what I remember. So.
They ran the old patch.
SGC ruling.
That's right.
Yeah.
You have to have 2 weeks, and you got to adjust to the new patches.
Right.
We're all playing on the old patch. With Broken Bayonetta. So that was known as Tyroy's last hurrah.
That's right.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. Being able to use Bayonetta's, at her full power. And he got second place to, I believe it was second place to ESAM.
Okay.
I remember.
Oh, yeah. He had like that SD or something, right?
I remember, actually, we left, I can't remember how early it was. We had to take Mr. Doom back to, wherever he had to go. Mm-hmm. And then on the way, they're, like driving back to Omaha. We're in the car, like watching the stream or whatever. Pull up at the gas station, I'm looking. And I see Tyroy kill him off the top, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, dude!" I'm like, just like really happy for him because I think Tyroy's a really good player. Didn't want people thinking, "Oh, he's just a one-trick pony with Bayonetta."
Yeah, he's a sweet dude.
If Tyroy is returning again this year, I would love to see him make it back to that grand final point of bracket to show people that. It wasn't a fluke last year. It wasn't just Bayo.
Yeah,
I'm a really good player.
Tyroy was pretty hard to stick up for because. I believe Pound was last April. Combo Breaker obviously was a 3-day event at the end of May. So that was right when we seen Pink Fresh like just pick everybody apart at Pound. I mean, he just smacked everybody up. And then, of course, fast forwarding, I think Bayo did just get hit with the nerf. And Tyroy wasn't doing this hot. He was kind of in a character crisis. He was going a little Meta Knight. He was going Fox. Yep. Yeah, and that was very interesting to see, it was almost like a fall from grace, if you will. And it was actually interesting to see, but it was probably more sad than anything because, Tyroy is such a nice guy. And I think people have like this negative image painted about Bayo players in general, or just people who play DLC that they're just like mean people, they play to win. But they're actually some of the nicest people ever. Like Locust at DreamHack, he was shaking everybody's hand, taking pictures. I mean, he's
kissing babies.
Man. He was Obama, dude. No, but yeah, he was a pretty nice guy. But I'd like to see Tyroy do well. I'd like to see the whole Midwest or Chicago do well. Ned, that could be a breakout performance for him, but I know like in terms of the PGR numbers, it wouldn't be quite ranked as like a breakout just because there wasn't a lot of people there.
Yeah.
I know he did really well at the Midwest Mayhem Saga in Southern California. And he's also done well, just even at his own Midwest Mayhem events in his own backyard. He just recently beat Zero. I was on the mic for that. That was incredible to see.
Yes.
I'm expecting Ned to take this one, man. Ned's coming off of a lot of momentum. He's looking to take some names now and some tournaments. So,
well, as you said, this is going to be a hybrid FGC event, so there's going to be a lot of people watching this.
Absolutely.
And I wanted to go back to like how many entrants there are because to me, Combo Breaker doesn't mean number of entrants.
Absolutely
it means hype.
Hype.
Look at Marvel vs. Capcom. It's still one of the events that I'm most excited for, and I don't even know if it's cracked. Like how many people?
I would think it cracked 300.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's not too many, but it's still just going to bring that hype, just like Combo Breaker did last year and the year before, and every year that it's been here. I'm expecting the same thing. I'm expecting something big to happen.
The production value behind Combo Breaker is just...
It's out of control.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy, dude.
Yeah, I've been to a lot of tournaments. Obviously, I know you guys have as well. But just from the pictures I've seen of Combo Breaker, I put that right up there with like UGC. Like I walked in and into UGC and seen just like this beautiful layout. You know, shout out to Vaseth and Bear and everybody who had a helping hand in that. You guys really like did a good thing with UGC Smash Open. Yeah, I'd never seen production that nice. Like that was probably the nicest production I have been a part of to date. Well, I guess like up until DreamHack, I suppose. DreamHack's production was pretty nice as well. But anyway, yeah, UGC just overall, very, very pretty event. And yeah, you know, I think that's kind of the template that a lot of FGC hybrid events follow is, you know, we got to accommodate for a lot. We want to give them an experience, not just from a gaming standpoint, but from, you know, the booths to, you know, like food and just everything like that. So I think they spend a lot of time.
Even at the hotel itself, the Pheasant Run it's going to be a great place. And definitely. I just got my tag in the mail with custom tag. It's a small thing for some events, but for me, they're caring so much about every person that's attending. Like, we're going to give you a custom badge. Yep. So as soon as I open the mail, because I was like, I don't have a package. This could be anything for all I know. So,
another bill.
I didn't. but I opened it and saw the tag. I was like, 2 weeks away. Let's go. So.
Oh, sweet, man. Yeah, I just registered as a spectator, so I didn't get anything cool.
Oh.
Yeah, man. Commentary problems, man.
Oh, good stuff. Good
absolutely,
stuff,
man. So. But only 148 entrants. That's actually not that bad. So kudos to Rick and everybody else. I'll see you guys next weekend at Combo Breaker. But moving along, we got MomoCon predictions. Now, this is actually the same weekend as Combo Breaker. I think it actually just has another day on it as well. I know Combo Breaker's like the last 3 days. MomoCon's the last 4 because that's also a convention and a Smash tournament. And it caters very much to Smash, and it caters very much into Pokken tournament as well, too. So shout out to everybody, you know, who's helping out with that. I think that's Evan, Smash Studios, a.k.a. PB&J, excuse me. That's my guy. But, yeah, what are you guys' predictions for that? Because that's where everybody else is going.
I haven't been keeping up too much with MomoCon because I've been focusing on Combo Breaker just because I'm going to be attending that. But I will be seeing some results from this. I would like nothing more than the Pokken scene to really grow from this one. That's just a game that I don't really know what to compare it to. It just never got that takeoff. Maybe it was mostly probably because of the Wii U system itself, right. And maybe we'll see Pokken on the Switch later. Yeah. But I would like this to just bring more people in. I was at a weekly local, and it was like, oh, $2 buy-in to just do Pokken. I was like, I've never played this game, but I'm interested. And I played it, and it was so much fun.
Absolutely.
Almost tempting me to buy it myself. I would like for MomoCon to just bring something for Pokken more than I would Smash 4. So.
Yeah, their production for Pokken was pretty good last year. Again, Smash Studios streamed that. DC and EE were the ones who did the commentary. It was fantastic as always. You know, they're top commentators for a reason. And yeah, you know, Pokken Tournament definitely needs its own shine. I think the biggest issue was Nintendo wanted that game to grow so much that promoting it, they brought in a lot of other hands from other different games. Yeah. So they brought in like Tasty Steve from Street Fighter, you know, they did Invitational, Nairo, DK Will, like they had people from so many games. Persia from Marvel vs. Capcom 3, you know, the commentator, you know, she's fantastic as well. But they brought in so many people, and then, you know, when the dust settled, when they seen who was all left, you know, they had their own little community. But it in the beginning, they're kind of confused on like how to shape and how to go from there. But once they got things settled, you know, that Pokken community became very strong. Hell, we just had Utah players drive like, what, 14, 15 hours for a monthly? Oh, That's actually out of control. That is crazy.
And enough for them to have your own Nebraska and Utah crew battle.
Utah crew battle. I actually got some footage of that. It was pretty hype. I didn't know what was going on. I just saw some nasty Blaziken combos. And
oh, yeah. Was that Fumu that was doing that? So
I think so, yeah.
I think it was Fumu.
Yes, Blaziken is crisp.
He was helping me when I was at the local. I was like, oh, I don't know many of these Pokemon, but Blaziken was one of my favorite ones from Gen 3. Yeah. So I was like, I'll just play him. And Fumu just came over and was like, all right, I'm going to help you out. I was like, all right, what's the attack button right now? Like, let's start basics.
That's why I play Sceptile, man. I'm a Gen 3 boy.
Okay.
First got started on Gen 2, but Gen 3 is what made me.
Well, Gen 2 is arguably the best, but
come on, man. All right, man.
Moving on.
All right.
We're going to be in a big Pokemon debate soon.
All right. But definitely, man. MomoCon, you guys won't want to miss that. That's twitch.tv/Smash Studios all weekend, man. So keep it locked there for that. And then, of course, for Smash 4 at Combo Breaker, twitch.tv/VG Bootcamp. So keep it locked there again for all the latest and the greatest. So Royal Flush just happened earlier this month. What's everybody's thoughts on that? I mean, other than Mango winning, because you know, man.
He always makes the headlines.
USA.
Mango. I was like, what?
Mother's Day Mango.
Supergirl's Kels was the big thing that stood out to me, and I'm sure a lot of people. And the sociologist in me was looking at it as like, is this the breakout for female gamers to feel empowered to step up and come in and feel welcome to this event? Mm-hmm. That and probably just up there also was Solo Sonic, like still viable in this game.
Oh yeah,
because we were talking about earlier about the whole planking with Bayonetta, and I could see that being a big problem for Sonic. Ironically, because Sonic players tend to time people out. So, but for all the DLC, all the patches, all the changes that have happened, to see Sonic still shine and get top 8 was, as much as I don't like the character, it's nice to see that everyone debating is this a top 10 character? Yeah. Here you go, top 8 out of big. Yeah,
that's a top 5 character.
Ooh.
Come on, man.
I don't know, man. I don't.
What are your thoughts?
I don't have Sonic. I think when we were
that
talking
neutral is too good.
Day,
it's good.
I had him right behind Mario, and Mario's not in my top 5 either.
Ironically, with the Mario Sonic Olympic games that come out, so just neck and neck with each other.
Bayo Diddy.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, oh, they're right next to each other. Mario, Sonic.
Bayo/Diddy, Sheik, Rosa,
Cloud.
No, bro.
I don't think Cloud.
Cloud's not top 5.
Man.
Sonic,
tough. I have been saying Sonic and Fox from the beginning were highly underrated, and everyone was like, "Fox ain't that good." People, I was like,
pause right there, and I agree. Now, imagine if Larry Lurr was always good, but imagine if he was as good as he was now, playing that Fox.
Yeah,
playing that Fox, the 1-2 jab Fox.
The band hammer would come out.
He would be arguably the best. Free.
Man, Nev almost picked up Fox, and then this was literally like a day before that patch came out.
Yeah,
he just stopped.
Because I was telling people, anyone with speed in this game is good. Is there any fast character in the top 15, or that's not in the top 15?
I'll give you that. You're right.
Like ignoring top 5, top 10, like broadening it to top 15, because that's where we get a lot of debate.
Everybody's quick on foot.
Yeah,
I would definitely agree with you. You know, Fox was also the character that we found out about the whole when you hit an opponent and they spin, the spinning animation. And then how there's always one that you can't tech. Yeah. And then, shortly after that, we found out about the run, the dash in, hip check, forward tilt, up smash. I'm like, dog, what is this? Come on, Fox. But that's the archetype, though. Like, Fox is just designed to be good.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to be good no matter what game he's in. Just like Meta Knight, Meta Knight and Project M, Meta Knight and Brawl. It's just how he's designed, man.
True.
How he's designed.
Star Fox is one of my favorite games of all time, so I'm happy Fox is getting some love. So
yeah, there it is, man. But yeah, Supergirl Kels, she placed 5th. I guess we could call that a breakout performance. Royal Flush was an A-tier event. It had, I believe, 12 of the PGR there, and 10 of the 12, they were ranked top 20. So with that being said, I think we can count that as a breakout performance. She did very well in doubles. She did very well in singles. And like you said, I'd hope that empowers female gamers all over. Because,
absolutely.
We need that. If Ricky Ortiz is doing it in Street Fighter, we need that in Smash.
And I think people have always, or at least gamers are still trying to fight that stereotype of it don't work out. They're fat. They're in their mom's basement, things like that. And I know with rent and mortgage these days, being in your mom's basement isn't the worst thing in the world.
Definitely not, man.
But I see a lot of top 8, top 10 finishes in really any video game competitively, and people are in shape. But it's nice to see that girls can do this too.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I can definitely see that, especially even at a local level. The first time where I really thought about that was JBM.
Oh yeah,
JBM.
Yeah.
He's a bodybuilder.
Yeah,
and he's one of the top melee PM players in Nebraska, and I'm just like, all right, gamers don't have to be these out of shape guys. They can have other interests and take care of their bodies as well.
Definitely.
Right.
Definitely. Our scene, it gets a lot of love. I was actually watching Ultra Chen a few weeks ago and seeing that Tasty Steve was a huge fan of David Q.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he talked about him. He said, yo, man, like the Midwest, the Heartland players. And he talked about Nebraska. And I was like, oh, crap. And he said, yo, Q, man, he's incredible at Third Strike. Hell, even Toph speaks highly of David Q.
Really?
Yeah, Toph.
That's awesome.
The first tournament he actually went to was a tournament that David Q hosted. I don't know what the game was, but he was like, yo, man, you actually hosted the very first event I went to. Crazy.
Wow.
Actually,
Small world. So.
Dude, I know, right?
That's crazy.
Actually crazy. But 0-1, Royal Flush, first place finish. It wasn't easy by any means. Him and Mr. R tangled back and forth, but at the end of the day, Zero came out victorious, as he normally does, because people talk about that this game isn't consistent, but the only consistent thing in here is Zero.
Zero.
Yeah, man. But speaking of Zero, he's been tweeting here recently about burnout, fatigue, and how we need an off season. What's everybody's thoughts on that?
I do not think an off season is needed. You don't have to go to everything. Like that,
no, you don't.
That's what it clear cut goes down to. You got to pick and choose what you go to. I mean, some top players also have another job. They don't just actually play.
Like Anti, he actually works at a bar.
He works at a bar. So they'll pick and choose. Oh, I want to go to this tournament. Oh, I want to go to that tournament. But for players such as Zero, that this is their full time thing of playing. I mean, you just really have to set that time for yourself to say, hey, I'm not going to go to tournaments, from this time to that time. I know that's something that the Buzz actually does. I was having a conversation with him right after he got back from Japan, and he said maybe in the July-ish months he might be taking a little break from Smash.
Yeah.
So as a top player, you really have to set that time to say, you know what, I'm going to take a break, do some other things.
Definitely.
I know we were talking earlier before we started recording about sports, and sports is an interesting thing where I'm talking like basketball, football, anything like that. They've got a season, but also because weather is a huge factor for some of these sports. You're not seeing baseball in January.
Definitely not.
It cannot happen.
That just can't happen.
Video games and esports are in a different thing where it's always going to be an inside controlled environment. So there's really, I can see both sides of the argument. There's why have a season when you're not fighting against weather? When, like you said, you can pick and choose what events you go to. But the nice thing about having a season, though, is do you have this special point season? Kind of like NASCAR in a way.
Yeah, like the chase.
Yeah, where you earn points based on tournaments, but, you got to think of local and national level. Locals, the non-ultimate pro players, they're just trying to get as many tournaments as they can before this game dies out. Yeah. So let's have a tournament every week until the next game comes out.
Yeah, definitely.
So as far as seasons goes, if your job is to do this competitively full time, it's tough to take breaks, because if this is your income, you got to work. You got to treat it like a job.
Well, and the good thing that we have PGR, and I guess the good thing that they're doing is ranking the tournaments and letting us know which ones are ranked S, ranked A, so on and so forth, entrants and numbers, and I'm so glad we have PG doing that in the community, Swar, Baron, just everybody else. But I think the biggest issue is there's just too many tournaments. There's a lot of new ones. We got legacy events like Genesis, and I hope Frostbite becomes a legacy event. I hope we keep doing that. Super Smash Con, Big House. We have those events that have been around for a while. Pound even took a break this year. They say, you know what, we're going to chill. But then we have these circuits now, and circuits were every circuit this year was made with the right intention. Looking at Street Fighter, they have the Capcom Cup Pro Tour circuit, and they have their own set events. And then of course you have E-League, you have ESL, and then you have events that count towards that as well, like Final Round, CEO, all these events count towards the pro circuit. But because Smash doesn't get the company support, it's hard for us to kind of decipher which events are worth going to. Even last year, we didn't get treated as well at EVO. I didn't think there was much problem. I mean, hell, I'm just happy that we're at EVO. But I guess a lot of the top officials and a lot of the top players didn't like it. So they said, well, you know what, man, EVO is this and that, that and this. What if we just said, you know what, 2017, don't go to EVO, man. Just focus on Genesis. Focus on Genesis 4. Focus on Genesis 5. I'm like, what? No, man, that's crazy, dude. But then it dawned on me, well, there's just so many tournaments, maybe, we're all confused. We don't know, what's important enough to go to and what's important enough to sit out. So,
True. I can totally understand that. I mean, let's look at this upcoming weekend. We're talking about Combo Breaker and MomoCon.
Yeah.
It's the same weekend.
It's the same weekend.
Granted, Combo Breaker is going to appeal to all the FGC games out there. But like you said, PG Stats with here's the tournament that everyone should go to. Here's the one you want to keep an eye out for. But then you get into a possible gray area where players aren't going to register for that tournament. It's this person's not registering, so I'm not going to register.
Yeah.
And then no one registers for it.
Mm-hmm. So. And PG's not flat out saying this is the tournament to go to or
True.
not to go to. It's just yo, they got this many entrants, the pop bonus, here's stream, and it's yo, PG just brought the hype. It's time to go. And now like that's what you want to do. Like I'm buying my plane tickets, I'm buying my hotel room. That's what I want to go to. But yeah, there's just oversaturation isn't a bad. It's not a bad word, but it's also not a good word. There's just a lot of top TOs, and they all want to help the Smash community out. You know, the one that comes to mind right off the rip is Champ. Champ at 2GG. Those guys are doing fantastic work. You know, they provided us the circuit. Hell, 20,000. I mean, anywhere from between 5 and 20,000 in pop bonuses for every event. That is crazy.
That's
really
a lot of money.
Actually, out of control.
Like, you gotta start wondering, like, man, where they coming up with this money?
Hey, man, I don't care.
We asking no questions.
Like, did you get burnt out after winning 20,000 one time? Like, oh, I'm so burnt out with turn. I just won $20,000 at this turn. Like, you can take some time off.
It's okay. And Ally did it. He won Evo. Yeah. He took the rest of July off. You know, he popped back up at Smash Con. He said, all right, it's time to get back into the game, man.
Absolutely.
And of course, now we have the DreamHack circuit, which I think is a huge deal. And I think that all the top players need to go to that. And I know that a lot of the top players know how big of a deal DreamHack is, but maybe not so much of like the casual viewers. You know, DreamHack has always been very much a melee thing, but now that Smash 4 they were really starting to get that shine we deserve and that recognition. I expect to see DreamHack Atlanta kill it. Montreal, Denver, and whatever else they got planned for 2018 is going to be a good year for DreamHack. But absolutely, I want to see. I want to see maybe more unity in tournament organization, though. You know, I don't like the overlapping. Like, I would like to go to Combo Breaker and MomoCon, but of course that's just how the cookie crumbles. Sometimes stuff is just going to be on the same day.
And maybe it'll turn into. I just had this thought. What if, like, look at NFL and college football. You've got your college football games on Saturday, which could be your local top players, things like that, and you've got the NFL on Sunday, which could be your pro players. Like, but I understand there's so many entrants with these tournaments that they need to be 2-day or 3-day events. So that's thinking way too far ahead. But work with your schedule and just attend as much as you can, and that's my opinion. So.
Yeah, and looking at a lot of these TOs, you know, a lot of the big TOs are hybrid FGC TOs, and Smash always does really well for them numbers wise. So it's hard for them not to run it, despite most of the top players wanting a break. It's like, I can't actually do that because if I don't bring Smash, I'll go into the red. You know, and it'll make hosting this next year that much harder. Like, for instance, looking at like Jabali, hosting a DreamHack, not DreamHack, CEO Dreamland. He's the FGC director of DreamHack, but CEO Dreamland, that's incredible. Like, we got our own, 3-day event. Was it 2 or 3 days? I think it was 2 or I think it was 2.
Might have been 2, yeah.
I think it was 2, but regardless, we got our own 2-day Smash only event. Melee, Smash 64, Brawl, just a lot of them. And the fact that he did that for us really means a lot because, I mean,
it shows they care.
Yeah, it shows they care. We didn't really need that. I mean, we did need it, but like we didn't really expect that. And then Jabali just, well, you know what? If you guys like CEO Otaku, here's Dreamland. So huge shout out to Jabali for that as well, man, because that was just incredible. But he also talked about how the entrance and just how he kind of went into the red. Not a lot of people signed up like how he wanted to, and so on and so forth. And with that being said, it made it a little bit harder for him to do certain things at CEO 2017. What those things are, I don't know, because Jabali is a hardworking man. He has his fingers in a lot, but he said that it made it a little bit more difficult for him to host certain things at CEO this year. So it all kind of domino effects, if you will.
True. To me, it was maybe worth it because he built that Wispy Willow tree prop.
Man.
It's like, so was it worth it in the end?
I think so. I think it was definitely worth it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Definitely worth it, man. Thank you to Jabali for that. So let's talk about something that happened here recently. We had Greninja Saga yesterday, and we had Outfoxed again. So I guess we'll start with Outfoxed again. That was an Indianapolis regional event that stemmed from the events to compete Midwest Circuit last year, which is what we were on as well for Nexus and Endgame, and Frostbite started out as a Midwest Circuit event. But it featured 6WX, who's ranked 30th as of right now, and Darkshot, who's ranked 44th. And also featured number 6 in the Midwest ranked NLG's very own Ryuga.
Yes, Ryuga. I'd actually like to touch on that.
Let's do it.
Because yesterday we were actually talking on stream. We were talking about characters and stuff. And I know you guys were giving me crap. You guys were talking about turning off my mic.
What?
I was like, dude, Corrin is better than Marth. And you guys are like, Alex. You were like, guys, like, what has Corrin done? And then we leave the tournament. I look on Twitter, and then Ryuga's like, well, I beat 6WX.
Come on, man. But a Marth will in Genesis 4, bro.
What's Genesis?
What's Genesis?
What's Genesis?
Come on, man. Corrin is far from bad.
But
far from bad.
I think she. I know there's both, but let's be honest, it's she. creeping it on the top 10, like floating between 10 and 12
I have
on a lot of people's lists.
in between 10 and 12. A while back, before everyone hopped onto Marth is super good train.
Yeah.
I for sure had Corrin as my number 10 character, but now I'm like in between 10 and 12 with like the way things have been advancing with characters and things of that sort.
It's creeping up there. Very good character. Ryuga's a very strong player. I love seeing him in dubs also. Very solid performance. Just great team synergy. Good player overall. So.
Yeah, he's very fundamentally sound. He didn't always play Corrin. Obviously, Corrin wasn't in Smash for Wii U and 3DS from the jump. He was playing Ryuga before that, and
he was playing himself.
Or excuse me, Ryuga. He was playing Ike. I'm sorry, but
if they play Corrin, you just have to.
I got Ryu on my mind because of Dark Shadow. I'm gonna touch on that in a second, but just like right off the gate, I'm thinking like Big House 5, how he beat Fatality with Ike. I'm like, yo, that's actually incredible. And I watched that set in person, and I was thinking, yo, who is this guy?
Yeah.
And then I find out that this guy actually isn't a guy. He's actually a kid. I think he was like 16 or 17 at the time. And just beat the best Captain Falcon in the world. And it was like relatively easy too. Like he didn't break a sweat. He kept like mentally composed and physically composed as well. Like he took that one pretty convincingly. And on top of that too, I think he played 6WX in grand finals and beat him. Yeah, he actually reversed. No, not reverse. He just double eliminated him. Yeah, he played him once and then got the grands and then beat him again, which is crazy because for the longest I used to think that Ryuga had a Sonic problem because he struggled with Supergirl Kells at the Big House 6. And that match actually was a heartbreaker for me because I didn't know who to vote for because like Supergirl Kells is such a sweet girl, and then Ryuga, I mean that's my boy, but I had to vote for my man Ryuga, and then he ended up getting bopped, and I was like, dang man, I wish, come on man.
It came down to all right, it's Sonic, man. Like
it's Sonic. Sonic is good. Yeah, I told you, dude. Top 5, man. But anyway, no, I'm joking. No, I'm joking, but yeah, man.
No, you're not.
But Ryuga. Took that one. I think that's something Michigan needed. Michigan needed another W to throw up on the boards. Noda hasn't really been in town a lot. I think he made a post or something a while back how he didn't really like going to weeklies and monthlies. There's something that was really bugging him, so he hadn't been to anything in a while. And I'm like, well, let's get these Michigan guys back at it, man. Yeah. Let's get them back on the main stage. So.
I know everyone wants to talk, bring it back to Greninja Saga. I know everyone wanted to talk about the results. Can we talk about that stream layout that they had? That was the coolest thing ever with the Greninja's face on top.
Yeah.
That was unbelievable. I know there were some people upset when they changed it when it got to top 8, I think, when it went to like the full screen kind of border that they had, and people were upset at how much screen was being wasted. I wasn't worried about screen being wasted. I was just like, you had the coolest thing with the Greninja face on the top. I think they should have just kept that. That was cool.
Hey man, this is 2GG we're talking about.
They're good. They're good. No shots at them. They're amazing.
Yeah, they're amazing. Yeah, they're all about quality, dude. Yeah. They're going to give these players, they're going to give the viewers at home the best experience possible. And whether that means they got to dish out the money or if they got to, whatever it is they have to do, man, blood, sweat, and tears, they'll make it happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Bam, Champ, Strides, all you guys, man. I don't know how you do it every day, but you're making it happen. So, yeah, that's what's up. But Greninja Saga was a very, very, fantastic event. It was a one-day event as well, which is something that kind of threw me off. I'm like, wait, just a one day? How are we going to do all that in one day? But they made it happen and they finished on time. So, Zero, fresh in the top 24, loses 3-2 to Fallen. I caught a bit of that set. Zero was already down 1-2 to Fallen. Fallen obviously going Rosalina and Luma. I'm not exactly sure who Zero went first. Maybe he went Diddy. But when I tuned in, he busted out the Cloud. He went Cloud.
Like, oh no.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Fallen. But it wasn't rest in peace, Fallen. Though. Fallen actually triumphed. He did it.
He did it. Yeah. Well, and everyone's expecting someone to have a pocket Cloud at this point. And I understand when you were saying like Cloud's not top 5. I can understand that point where everyone's just used to the matchup because everyone has a pocket Cloud. So even Zero. So no shots at his Cloud. But great job by Fallen. Really stepping it up, taking a lot of people, and then even. He had a solid run. He was also against Locust. Was that it? So
yeah, beat Locust 3-1. So Locust, as you know, he made his first jump, I believe, at Zero Saga, where he beat Mr. R. Did he beat Mr. R at Zero Saga? That was like the show you off the top, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
That was the show you off the top, and then that's what put him on the map, which is good because that puts Canada on a bigger map as well because Canada needs that representation.
Yeah, you got him, and you also got Supergirl Kills
and Ally. Absolutely, and
Canada's strong. So
Canada pretty damn good, man. But yeah, fantastic run. Beating Zero, I think you can hang that one up on your fridge and, take it home and brag about it. And then, of course, like we said, beating Locust 3 wounds, I know isn't easy at all because, Rosie, top 5 lightest character in the game. It just takes one of these and one of those.
One up till done.
That's it, dude.
I think her kill percent is like around 60% or something with a true short you can. Mm-hmm. That's tough. But ultimately, the winner was Ally.
Yes, sir.
Talking about good characters, and Mario just sound fundamentals can win it for you.
Nah, man, Mario's bad.
True.
No, Ally, I swear up and down.
I'm just trying to play the other side of the arguments.
No, I hear you, man. Ally, I swear up and down that Mario's bad, man. He played out of his mind that weekend. Yeah. Every match, fresh out of top 24, was either 3-0 or 3-1, despite some of Mario's bad matchups that he played against. Man, I'm telling you, man, when Ally's on fire, we talk about like Ledge Trap Diddy, we talk about like Game 5-0, we talk about like so many of these aspects. Glasses push Nairo, like we talk about all of those, but when Ally is feeling it, it is go time, man. Like he can do just about anything. That man can run for president if he wanted to.
And I think the really crazy run that he was having back when Zero's dominating, and then he was like, oh my gosh, you got Ally challenging Zero. I think that was the big push. It was like, it can be done. Mario has to be top 5 now. Like it can be done. He's doing all this stuff, and then you also had Anti with his breakout performances, also playing Mario.
I gotta check the Austie stats later, but how many times has Ally beaten Zero? Like it's
not very many times, but actually.
Wasn't it? It's like a handful. I think.
I think it's a handful.
He's gotta have the most.
Yeah. He should be the most right now. And of course, I know Nairo and Anti would be very close, in contendance with that as well. Because I know looking back to MOG 2015, Nairo was the first one to beat him, right? Yeah, Nairo was the first.
Yeah, Nairo was the first. Yeah,
that he was the first, and at that point in time, we had just came back from Big House 5, and he was close. Like, of course, Zero was in losers, Nairo was sitting comfortable in winners, like. The first set of grand finals, he kind of threw around the secondaries. We've seen a little Robin. I think we've seen a little Lucina as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's not when he didn't pick up Bowser at that point. It was Robin, and I think he busted out Lucina for one game.
Definitely. And then, moving forward, we moved to MLG, which I believe was later on that month. I think that was still October, but that was in Orlando.
It was. I was going to say it was Southeast somewhere.
Yeah, it was somewhere in Orlando. And regardless, that was a crazy tournament. Smash 4 at MLG is a huge deal. Nairo did it. And so now I'm thinking, okay, Nairo did it once. He's going to do it again. Wrong. he didn't quite do it as consistently as how I would have liked, because Nairo is always hyped to watch. We've talked about how boring, we've thought Zero was in the past, like on Twitter and like in the Twitch chat, whatever. I think Zero is a human highlight film in himself, as well as Ally and Anti, but there's like this intensity, this hype that Nairo brings to the table every time that just really gets me out of my seat. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the tether grab down throw. I don't know what it is, man. It's crazy though.
He's kind of like the first rival that Zero had for Smash 4 at least. I know they were both around for Brawl for a lot, but
absolutely.
It just felt like with the new crowd that came into competitive fighting games because of Smash Wii U, Zero and Zero and Nairo were the first. This is the rival. Yeah. These are 1 and 2.
This is it. We can build a story now.
But now it's kind of like all the local scenes where you had 1 top player or you had 2, maybe 3, but then the rest was just trash. But now the way the meta has evolved, there's a lot of people that can take anyone.
Yeah,
definitely. So yeah, I'm actually really excited to see what Ally brings to the table at MomoCon. It's interesting that he's not going to Combo Breaker. I think that would have been relatively easy money, and hell, he could have got that Easton run back from Civil War. I know he's looking for it. I know he's looking for it, but you got to go where the money is, the big money. And with that being said, that's at MomoCon, and I think Nairo is teaming with Zero. I think the next 3 tournaments that Zero is going to, he's teaming with Nairo fresh out the gate, and. Man, let me tell you about when them two team, man. Because, Genesis 3, we get to see Diddy and we get to see, ZSS. That was the first time we seen Cloud played at that level in doubles, teaming with Villager. And I'm like, yo, this team is actually broken. And I warned people that this team is broken.
It was like nobody wants any of that mess.
Like, I don't care how good Zero and Nairo are in 1v1s. They're also fantastic in doubles, but Cloud and Villager together, you got one guy that can kill you really early, and the other guy never dies. So it's like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, man?
I like seeing the creative teams. Another creative one is that Japanese team that does Lucas and
Lucario.
Lucario, yeah.
Yes. Oh gosh, was that a Smash Con?
That's Taiheda and God, I forget their names. Taiheda and Sue.
Yes.
Yeah, Titan and Sue.
But yeah, I like Zero and Nairo when they team up. It's funny because you always see Zero go Diddy the whole time, and then Nairo's like, all right, do I go Lucina? Do I go Bowser? Do I go Cloud? Like, and Zero's just like, just pick whoever. We'll work it. We'll work it out. So
yeah, they always make it work right around each other. Their team synergy is solid. And with that being said, with Nairo going different characters, we're getting to see more Lucina, especially and Zero as well. We get to see a lot of his Lucina, and in doubles, they're bringing a new flavor to doubles. So they're letting you know that other characters can make it work and they can make it happen. If you just got to work a little harder, but it is very possible. We're getting a little break from seeing Sheik all the time, seeing Diddy all the time, a lot of Mario. I mean, not saying there's anything wrong with those characters. They're very fantastic in singles and in doubles, but Lucina, man.
No,
I'm liking what I'm seeing, dude.
Okay, so, Brett, if you had to pick between there's been 2 doubles eras of Smash 4.
Yes.
I feel like it's very obvious which those are. we have the Cloud era. This is like the dark Middle Ages.
Oh, man.
I don't know which one's darker because I know where you're going with.
Come on, man.
We have the era of Absorption and Buckets.
Absorption and Bucket, yeah.
Game & Watch Bucket, Ness and his which would you rather have? Would you rather have back then you had such cool characters, variety, all the gimmicks and things of that sort. But now it's just like.
But did you have variety? Because it was Sheik, Game & Watch, the only team in Smash Wii U history to have a ban. Like, because there's no ban on Cloud yet. I know there's some talk, but Game & Watch Sheik was actually banned. So I don't know, because Lucario Villager was a fun team to watch. I even messed around with my brother. We did Zero Suit Game & Watch. Okay. We were messing with that. You're right. It was creative because you saw Villager, you saw Game & Watch, you saw more Ness and Lucas shine. Now I think the meta's actually slowly moving to Lucario. There's Lucario starting to pop up in dubs a few more times. We even saw, was it Mars that pulled him out, or
I think so.
Was it Mars or Pug West? So
yeah,
it was Mars.
Yeah, Brawl's coming back, dude.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, y'all not ready, man. Y'all not ready for that, man. That's the true definition of pain right there. But no, that's actually that's pretty incredible, to see the diversity in doubles, because, the game in itself, like we talked about, in the beginning of the show, there's so many characters and there's so much flavor to choose from, and it's sometimes it can get a little boring seeing the same characters over and over again. So doubles is kind of like that break from the norm,
right?
And despite it being a lot of Cloud and a lot of Lucario, we're starting to get more like Lucas as well. We got a lot of Ness representation in singles and doubles. Even looking back at Royal Flush, the Great Gonzalez, they call him like Mr. Four Glory Ness. I don't know, whatever the hell, man. The dude played out of his mind that weekend.
Right.
Yeah, I first met him at Showdown in Chicago. Shout out to Amiibo King and the whole gang. But man, watch him at Royal Flush. I'm like, dude, where was this Great Gonzalez at Showdown? Because if you would have played like this then, you would have won that joint.
For Ness to make it that far at a tournament with the characters that are out there, because he ran into a Rosalina at some point in that bracket. And we know that's not exactly in Ness's favor by any stretch. So.
No, sir.
But yeah, it's great to see character diversity. I think when you see a new team, because to me, my favorite team is still Pug West and Mars. Mars Zero Suit, just, like you said, Alex, there's the Dark Ages with Cloud at every top 8, if not winning it all. Granted, you see Zero and Nairo win sometimes with Diddy and Zero Suit, or Diddy Lucina, but
or you'll have MVD Esam with the Diddy Pikachu.
Right, yeah. A team that I don't think should work, but somehow does. Like,
I think my favorite combination by far is the Zero Nairo, especially when Nairo goes Lucina. More times than not, if he goes Lucina, it sometimes goes to a game 5, but there's a quick talk before the match. I don't know what it is. Like, they talk really quick, and then Zero does one of like these little hand movements, and it goes right into the match, and then it's clean. Like, they finish with like 4 or 5 stocks. I don't know what it is that they did. Maybe they ate a sensu bean. I don't know what the hell, but it was incredible to see them play that well.
No more playing.
All right, let's do it. All right, we gave the stream a show. It's time to get this money, though. Yeah, dude. Craziness, man. But no more Smash, man. Let's talk about some other games here. So we got Injustice 2, man. Just came out 5/16/2017.
I was going to say, it hasn't been a week yet.
Hadn't even been a week, man. And people are already complaining about Sonic Fox and Deadshot. Come on, man. Alex, I'm going to let you talk about this one because
I played the first one and I know what's going on.
You play a zoner at Smash.
All I know is from what I've seen in on Twitter, I think it was actually Sage was the one that made me look into it because I saw him post someone complaining about zoners and like in space and like fighting games, and I'm just like, what? Like saying that what that not that they didn't have any skill, but that they're basically like ruining the game.
Yeah.
Brain dead or whatever the hell.
Injustice, I think it's the combination of this movement of characters. Like it's not quick like you would see in something like Smash or Marvel vs. Capcom. I don't want to say it feels sluggish, but there's definitely a movement feel to it that's unlike any other fighting game that I played. Yeah. And also a combination of how fast projectiles can come out. Zoning is heavy in Injustice 1 and 2, and it looks like that's what the trend is going to continue.
Yeah, Sonic Fox is known for playing, maybe not zoners, but characters that can kind of keep you at bay, and where he can kind of apply pressure from a distance. He played Batgirl in the first Injustice. He played Aaron Black in Mortal Kombat XL. So he knows exactly what he's doing. I don't think there's an issue with zoners. Deadshot's projectiles, man, are just really, really strong. Like that's just what it is, man. They do a lot on block.
With the Nerf hammer.
NetherRealms does a great job balancing all of their games. You will eventually see once patches are done. It's like these are the final 2. It never seems like there's 10 characters that are even. It always seems like there's like 3 or 4 that everyone's going to gravitate towards. And I think right now Deadshot's right up there right now.
Yeah. And Sonic Fox has other characters in his arsenal. I seen him. He played a little cheetah, played a little Catwoman, just kind of showing everybody that these new characters, not new characters, but characters that are new in this game,
right?
Have other combos and things as such. So I mean, don't get it twisted. Like he can smack you up with Deadshot, but if he wanted to go Catwoman or cheetah, best believe he can do that. Looking back at EVO 2016 and Grand Finals, I whoever he was playing against. Reset bracket on him. He switched from Aaron Black to Alien. Alien is not really a zone heavy character. That's more of a in your face. Let's tangle up close and personal type of character. So he can pick pretty much whoever he wants.
Yeah, definitely. And speaking of new characters, recently there was a trailer for it was Sub-Zero.
Oh, Red Hood and
Red Hood and Starfire, yeah. But then there were pictures. If you brightened up the screen, it showed all of the shadows of the characters that are coming out, and it looks like Raiden's coming. There's speculation that Beast Boy is another one of the characters, and then there's a lot of debate of who are all these other characters coming out. Raven might be coming back.
Nice.
But yeah, I found it interesting. I know NetherRealm made in both Injustice and Mortal Kombat, so it's interesting to see Sub-Zero coming back. Then you've got a picture that it's clearly Raiden. Like there's no one in the DC universe that looks like that guy with the sombrero. But everyone's speculating on the other side because they did pictures of 3 characters at a time. So it was like these 3, these 3, these 3. Everyone's wondering who's that other character from Mortal Kombat that might be coming over. So we'll see. So with these patches coming out, maybe zoning is going to be countered a little bit with these upcoming characters.
I'd like to think so. And I don't think zoning is a problem at all. I do think Deadshot's attacks do quite a bit on block. Maybe we can do something about that. But overall design-wise, Deadshot's fine. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
I think that they should have put Will Smith Deadshot in there. I think that would have been cool, man.
Hey, maybe an alternate costume coming out. Who knows?
No.
Who knows?
Getting jiggy with it, man. Who knows, dude?
Wild Wild West, right?
Come on, man. You're right. Come on, man. All right, moving on from Injustice, man. Let's talk about other superheroes. Let's talk about some movies. Logan.
Yes. Oh, there's no box of tissues here. Come on, Rod the Dutch.
Logan. I was gonna keep saying Logan.
Okay.
Logan, man. Logan.
So, yeah, I did see The Last of Us. Excuse me, Logan.
Come on,
it was
dude.
Oh no, that's no shot. It was so great. Logan was such a great movie. Interesting to see that they brought. I keep forgetting the character's name, but it was actually he was also in Apocalypse as like that. The guy that oh my gosh, I'm just having a blank right now. Psylocke was introduced in Apocalypse, and there was that one guy.
Camelanche. Is that his name?
Yes. Yeah. It was interesting that they brought him back, and I heard the producers from both movies say they had no idea the other producer was using that character. So there was no intention that both were supposed to be in the movie. So I thought that was really cool that they were still in it. And we all know X-Men continuity makes sense right now, so I'm sure there's a way to bring it in.
I mean, hell, I don't expect Wolverine to be dead for too long. Something's going to happen.
Something will happen.
Something will happen. Logan, a very fantastic movie. It definitely felt like a story about a guy, and then a superhero movie. It was a superhero movie stripped, of all the explosions and just all like the sci-fi effects. And at the end of the day, you got Hugh Jackman, acting his behind off, playing Logan at his finest. Fresh out, the gate. When the movie starts, Logan wakes up in the back seat. This man's been drinking. You obviously know that he's old, but you don't know what's wrong with him. There is something wrong. He pops his claws out. They don't come out evenly.
Like one of them came out, uneven. I was
like,
God,
this is not the Wolverine that I know. But that also draws me to my next statement. We never really got to see Wolverine be as great as he could be. And not just in the movies, but just in general. Like in the TV shows, Wolverine pops his claws out, and then like the bad guy picks him up and throws him, and then like that's it. Like if the bad guy's a robot, he'll stab it. But if it's like a person, he doesn't.
Right. I mean, look at cartoon shows. Like look at Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You had Donatello, a blunt object with a stick. You had the nunchucks, a blunt object. You had the size, but he would never hold them like he would always hold them like reverse, or something. And then you had Leonardo. He would pull out the swords, and then instead of just like slashing, it'd be like like hit him with the butt end of the sword. Like, what? So I think they did the same thing with the show. Like, Wolverine's a vicious animal. We can't have him just going around slashing people up.
Yeah, we got to build contrast because, looking at the first 3 X-Men movies, before Wolverine got his own standalone films, he always had, like, his own fight. Like, we knew that, all right, we know that the X-Men can tangle with some of the greatest, but at the end of the day, Wolverine, the way he is, the way he's designed, just as a character, he's going to get his own fight because he doesn't take any crap.
Yeah.
So in the first movie, he fought Sabretooth, fought Mystique. If you even want to count him and Mystique thing a fight, because like she just kind of slapped him up and then he stabbed her, and I was like, all right, man, you got it, man.
Done.
Man.
He was definitely always the loner. He was a part. He was a part of the group. He's just there, but. You just disappear.
I like all the jokes he said, like, I'm not wearing these costumes. And
the yellow spandex, man. But Logan and I guess the Wolverine film before that were, like, the closest to Wolverine at his best that we ever got to see. It wasn't, I don't even think it was until, like, the first Wolverine standalone film that we seen Wolverine stab somebody and throw him. Like, Wolverine hadn't really been able to, like, pick anybody up and really show how strong he was until then. Like, he even, I guess in the second X-Men movie, he fought Deathstrike, and in the extended scene, she tackles him, and they fly across the room into like some glass. They stand up, and then they run up on each other and stab each other. Wolverine picks her up, and he throws her on some sharp object, and it goes right through her back. And then from there, she like kicks him, punches him, and then does like the crazy lady like Edward Scissorhands like right in the back, and
like she's rubbing a fire or something. Like
they're like, who thinks that? Who thinks of that? Like, let me hit you with one of these and see what happens. But we never got to see Wolverine, at his prime. He fought Juggernaut, got smacked up, fought Sabretooth, got smacked up. Like, he just literally got smacked up into his own films. And then Days of Future Past, he didn't have metal claws.
Yeah, but what was really cool is when he fought Magneto at the end of that. He didn't have metal claws, but used the rhubar to kind of move around. That's actually an homage to a famous comic panel back in the 80s, I think it was, where Magneto had stripped the adamantium out of him, but because he didn't have metal claws in the movie, they were like, let's put metal in him, but do the same thing and just toss him around. So, but good stuff. Yeah, Logan, great movie, and I have to look back at the timeline because Deadpool was announced and it was like, this is going to be R-rated. And I think they were debating, do we want to do Logan R? Or how do we want to do this? And I think it was the success of Deadpool that they were like, okay, let's make this an R movie.
The only way to really have Wolverine like at his brightest, it has to be R.
You couldn't do Wolverine without it being, rated R. Just the type of guy that he is, the past that he's had, before X-Men and even during his time with the X-Men, not having anything but that wouldn't have done it justice at all.
Absolutely not. Him stabbing people and actually seeing blood feels good at the time, man.
I was just about to say, if you rewatch the original X-Men movies with Hugh Jackman, I think he stabs them and there's not even a puncture hole. Nope. I think they just fall down.
Just stabs him and kills him, man. But Wolverine, in the Apocalypse film, when he like broke out of the thing, he like stabbed everybody and was cutting them and no blood. I'm like, all right, man, you got it, dude. You got it, Hugh Jackman.
You do you, Fox. You got it.
You got it, man. But that movie just felt good overall. It felt, very family orientated, not in terms of like the rating, but in terms of like Hugh Jackman and Logan and the role that he played. He had to be essentially a father who was guiding himself and now had to guide, potentially a daughter, a clone, like whatever you want to call her. She's a clone of him. She was quote unquote a failed experiment because we got a girl. you know, which isn't the case at all because in more times than not, if you go back and read the comics, X-23, I mean, when her and Wolverine first cross paths, she smacks him up really good.
Yeah.
She whoops him. Yeah, she tears him up. And, you know, even watching X-23 fight X-24 lets you know how good she was because Wolverine struggled, obviously, because his healing factor is aging. Yeah. And on top of that, the metal poisoning is killing him because his healing factor isn't strong anymore. But she held her own against X-24.
I have to give a huge shout out to, props to Hugh Jackman because everyone puts Heath Ledger's Joker up there as, the best comic book reimagining or on the live screen. I put Hugh Jackman just up there. He's been Wolverine since 2003.
2000, man.
2000.
The first X-Men was 2000.
17 years he's been Wolverine.
Yeah,
and I don't think anyone's gonna live up to that.
He really is Wolverine now. You've been somebody for that long.
You got to be him now. Man. You're gonna die as Wolverine, dude.
I call Robert Downey Jr. Tony Stark all the time.
That's all he is.
So yeah, it's gonna start Tony Stark. It's it's a Marvel movie. No, no, it's Robert.
A different. Yeah. No, definitely. I feel, Hugh Jackman's Logan is very debatable as best superhero actor of all time. Heath Ledger's Joker is right up there. Even though unpopular opinion, I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I can see why people feel like Heath Ledger's Joker is very great. But man, Logan, Hugh Jackman's performance in that, playing a dying superhero. I don't know how many people can do that. How many people can play a dying superhero from beginning to end? I mean, Tony Stark's, he was dying, in various parts of Iron Man because, he was getting the cube taken out of his chest, but Logan dying from beginning to end.
Yeah.
And still fighting, getting smacked up, shot, everything. He's still making it happen.
Maybe we'll see him in future movies. He's always said he wants to be in a Deadpool movie. He said he would come back if he's in Deadpool. So I know the next Deadpool is going to have Cable, so there's probably going to be some time travel in there. So
the future,
it could,
because Cable's a descendant of Scott Summers. So.
Yes, yeah.
And then of course X-23 is a descendant of Wolverine, but who knows how old she's going to be? Because you know how the healing factor works. She still might be a little girl in the future. And then Bishop as well. We can't forget about Bishop. He had a quick cameo in Days of Futures Past before he ended up getting murdered by the Sentinels.
You like Bishop? Go see a different movie. So.
Sit this one out, man.
Well, I don't know what they're going to do with X-23 because the healing factor with her being a little girl, but that actress is going to grow up. So film them now or just say, she just grew up.
Yeah, she just grew up, man. Yeah, who knows? But regardless, man, ladies and gentlemen, that's been all of our time here today on HitStun TV, man. I'm Rod the Dutch.
Censored.
HL Lincoln. So hit us up on Twitter. We'll have our Twitter handles on here or between this out. So we're going to be traveling to Combo Breaker. We're going to be going to Smash and Splash. And, like you said, if we could be in two places at once, we'd be at MomoCon. So.
I wish, man. First world problems when you can't travel.
When you can't time travel.
You can't travel twice. When you can't make a clone.
Right, man. Go ahead and shoot the organization to follow on Twitter. That is at NewAge_GG. We got a lot of great things coming up in the works, not just in Smash and gaming, but of course in just overall culture and in anime and cosplay. Even photography, man. We dabble in a little bit of that as well.
Definitely.
Yep. So until next time, guys, keep it locked here. We'll see you guys.